All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. That was from a soccer game, Turkey and Greece. And it was supposed to be a moment of silence for the victims of Paris. And the lovely, peace-loving people in the crowd started chanting in their native tongue, "Muslim martyrs don't die." And there were chants also reported of Allah Akbar. Let's let him into this country, I say. Joining us now on the Malzberg panel, Jane Velez-Mitchell, founder of JaneUnchained.com and New York Times bestselling author, and Adam Thompson, senior partner and owner of the law offices of Adam M. Thompson, and of course, he is syndicated talk show host as well. Adam, you know, when you hear that, it is sickening, but certainly not surprising.
It's not surprising at all, but what really alarms me are the sheep in this country with their heads in the sand that refuse to look at footage like that and what's right before our plain eyes and still think it's okay with open arms to just let the floodgates open and let refugees in without proper screening, proper vetting, and doing what we need to do to protect this country and our citizens first. It's disgusting. Yeah. Learn from what we see.
Jane, we're supposed to believe that Syria, that we're in contact with Syria, and these people have what, papers? So someone sits down, how do we know who they are? How do we know? In other words, they're vetted through a database. What database? Coming from Syria?
Look, let's not punish the Syrian refugees who are fleeing ISIS for the behavior of ISIS. If we do that, ISIS wins. That's exactly what they want us to do. If you look at the Paris attack, most, if not all, of the suspects identified are European nationals, most French nationals, the suspected ringleader, Belgian national.
So what?
Because it's homegrown, it's an internal threat.
One came from Syria?
No, that was a passport found, and we don't know really the circumstances of that passport yet.
Okay.
But a leader of the European Union said this is an internal threat. When are we going to start to realize that terrorism is a state of mind? It has nothing to do with where you're coming from physically. It's about a mental state.
Well, you could take them and you could have them live with you. You could have them live with you. You could take them into your house. Meanwhile, we have a report in the Daily Mail that nearly 70 have been arrested in America and have been, in the last 18 months, including refugees who have been given safe haven in this country while escaping terror. Adam?
They're here. The problem is going to get worse. We see what's going on through all different regions of Europe that is taking in all different kind of refugees. Do we do something to help? Of course, if we can, but proper security measures have to be put in place. And it's not unreasonable, Steve, to ask for and demand those security measures. And as an aside, Saudi Arabia has 100,000 tents with air conditioning set up that's not open to a single one of these Syrian refugees. You would think that the region that surrounds these other Muslims needing and wanting help to escape persecution could go to their fellow Muslim brothers in fellow Muslim countries. But they're not getting that help and their doors are closed. But here in the U.S., where veterans are living homeless on the street without help, who need money, we're going to divert it to those same refugees.
Let me tell you what our big problem is. We are not approaching the terrorism issue from a psychological perspective. What do people want? Attention. What are we giving ISIS? Attention. At a certain point, it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, but they win when we engage in what I will call controversial, but I will call it almost like terrorism porn. Non-stop 24-hour coverage of people in hysterics, running, fleeing, panicked. That's what they want. What we should do is dial it back and not give them what they want. Leave them alone. Attack them, yes, but don't pay attention.
They're blowing people up.
Don't pay attention to it.
Jane, they're blowing people up all over the world, beheading Christians. You want to ignore that?
I don't want to ignore it. I want to deal with it effectively, but I don't want to give them the kind of publicity that they crave.
Oh, they don't crave publicity.
Yes, they do.
They crave a caliphate, and they crave your head on a stick unless you bow down to them and convert to Islam.
But these are alienated sociopaths who really crave attention. That's what they crave.
Oh, they're like kids.
And they have a victim mentality. No, I don't think they're like kids. I think they're monsters. But I think we shouldn't be giving these monsters all this attention.
We should be killing them And that's what we should be doing, and not letting anybody, I agree with Pat Buchanan, from any Muslim country where there's terrorism come into this country.
That's ridiculous. Oh, so you won't let anybody from Bosnia. And why don't we just take huge swaths of the world and say, you can't come from here.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Adam, Jane, thank you very much. Up next, Richard Pearl, former Assistant Secretary of Defense, will be here. Don't go away.